Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gleason Performing Arts Center podcast. I think the name we came up with last time, GPR?
GPR?
Gleason Podcast Reboot. I'm your host, Alex, with my co-host,
Ken.
That's right, the co-host that's been here the whole time, and if you are thinking that it was someone else, you should seek help, because it was never any different. It's always been this way. It's been me and Ken in front of the curtain. I keep seeing stuff about a green screen, but I don't know what that.
What's a green screen really? I
don't know.
Is it blue? Is it yellow?
I watched back the other episodes, and we were never in front of anything. Green,
because you were in front of Shrek's Pizza, and also
we were on location.
And you were also in Breaking Bad, and a guy was throwing a pizza. So what's a green screen?
I don't know.
Yeah, you were actually in front of the guy throwing pizza.
I actually went in front of that house. There was that guy who was throwing that pizza for a whole hour and a half. It was really impressive. He was really committed to making sure that pizza stayed on the roof. And I'm proud of him for that.
So
he did end up going up there to get the pizza off the roof, but it was still there.
At the same time, did he eat the pizza?
I hope so. I don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah, me too. I feel like if it was a bad pizza, then maybe I understand. But if it was a good pizza, I wouldn't let that go to waste, because it's a good pizza. You know,
it is.
It's a nice, 2-foot pizza. That's what it looks like to me.
It was. Oh, I think it was more than actually. What is the diameter? I always hate getting pizza measurements in diameters instead of small, medium, large. As much as I know how big 14 inches is, when you put it in terms of pizza, I don't know how big 14 inches is.
14 inches is a foot and 2 inches.
It's a foot and 2 inches is about yay big, but then you gotta make it a circle in your head, and then you're trying to think of the surface area to know how much pizza you're getting.
Whoa. That's too much.
It's too much. I don't need to do math.
No.
They told me in math class, right? You would need this later. And most of it, not so much. And I don't need it to become true with pizza. Pizza should be the opposite of math. Pizza and video games go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Oh.
So why would I, on God's green earth, do pi... Oh, shoot. Actually, this is embarrassing that I'm forgetting how to calculate the surface area of a circle. It's the diameter times pi squared.
I think so.
No. It's pi r squared. Oh, jeez. Pi r squared. I don't need... Why do I need that for my pizza? I just want to know how much food I'm getting.
Well, you need that for your pizza so you can accurately see if they made it 14 inches or not. Because what if they gypped you half an inch?
That's true. They could do that. I bet they would want to do that. I bet that's where all the profit comes from. It's that half inch they gyp you on. They're maha, right into their pockets. It's pure money, too, because they didn't go into pizza.
I hate that. Capitalism.
Anyway, while we're speaking of food, I think we have a pretty good query that we came up with beforehand.
Yes, we do.
And that is, I'll phrase this to you and you can give your answer. It's 5:45, let's say. You're just chilling, not really doing much, and then you hear the garage door open. It's your parents, it's your mom, and you realize you never took the chicken out of the freezer. What do you do?
Honestly, if it were me, I would just jump out a window. Even though I'm on the 3rd floor, I would jump out of the window and then just say that I was out with a friend. That's a logical reason. However,
your reasoning is you left.
Yes. And I left for 3 hours while they were gone, and I just never told them. However, the unlogical reason would be that I took it out a while ago. And my mom asked, how long? I'm like, I don't know, I took a nap. And it's not defrosting well enough because, the room temperature is it's too cold.
It's too cold in the house. It's actually 40 degrees in the living room. And the chicken's still frozen solid. Ma, you gotta understand.
Yeah, you have to understand. And plus the heat is not working because it's Florida, and I don't want to be hot inside. I want to be cold inside. So it was 40, and I didn't realize that. That might counteract my statement before, but I think it really works well.
It really does explain how frost keeps forming on the counter. It's just so cold in the house. I spill my drink and I slip on it because it just becomes a sheet of ice.
What'd you spill?
Water. I spilled water. I spilled water on the floor. It just instantly turned to a sheet of ice, and I slipped on it as I was like trying to walk past it. Happens all the time in Connecticut. That's what it's like to live up north.
Yeah,
I think everyone can attest.
that is true.
Living up north, all it is like you drop your water and it's gone. You're like, even it's middle of July, it's too cold.
Yeah.
You're up north.
You know, and you drop your apple juice, and all of a sudden you have frozen apple juice.
Tastes pretty good though.
Oh, it really does. A good yum yum, if you ask me.
Now, I'm gonna pose myself the question that I asked you. So now I ask me, Alex. It's about 5:45. You're just chilling in the house. You hear the garage door open. You realize, oh shoot, I never took the chicken out of the freezer. So now the logical response, like you said, take it out and just say, oh, it's a bit cold. It's a bit chilly. The chicken's still frozen. However, I'm better than this. I go to the microwave because it has a defrost button. So the chicken goes into the microwave. I hit defrost and I wait. I can hear the garage door still opening. They're not in the garage yet. I have time. It's in the microwave. The outside is starting to cook a little because of how long I'm keeping it in the microwave. It's probably been 5 minutes. I have no idea how they're not in the house yet. They should have been. It doesn't take that long to put a car in the garage, but it is. And the chicken's still in the microwave. I'm like, okay, it's starting to cook on the outside. It must be thawed. I take it out of the microwave. The inside, frozen solid. Honestly, frozen solid up until the very outer part of the chicken, which is starting to cook. And I'm like, there's only one way around this. I get a hammer and I bash the chicken and it shatters into a bunch of pieces because it's frozen solid. So I take this frozen solid chicken and I bash it into a bunch of pieces. I take all the small pieces of chicken and I put it back into the microwave on defrost. By the time my mom is in the house, the chicken is fully cooked via microwave. And I'm like, Ma, I made the chicken for you. And it's like basically eating a rubber because the texture that the chicken gained by just being microwaved for however long I managed to pull that off for. And then my mom, she can't really complain because I went above and beyond. Not only is the chicken defrosted, it's cooked, maybe really poorly, but...
What I would say is that I feel like two things, really.
Okay.
Parking a car can take a while.
True.
You know, because it all depends on if your parents are backing into the garage, pulling into the garage, going sideways into the garage, you know... I feel like there's so many ways that you can park a car in the garage, and plus what if you have like a bike in the middle, and you're like, oh darn, I have a bike. Let me just get out of my car, move that. But then you have to remember, they're a bit slow when walking, right?
True. I mean, they are old. They're my parents. If my mom ever watches this, I know you don't walk that slowly. But continue.
So, they take a while. They're like, oh, I got the bike. And then, they move the bike out of the way. They get back in the car. And all of a sudden, there's a bug in the car. And now they have to swat the bug to get out of the car,
It's true. I remember, I was, whenever I'm driving, if there's ever a bug in the car, I could be in the driver's seat, both hands, fists. I'm fighting the bug, hand-to-hand combat because... It's more honorable that way. Rena talked about this before with me and the ants. I always go hand to hand. Stepping on them, I'm literally stepping down on the ants. Hand to hand, at least they can try and fight back. And sometimes this results in me going into the other lane or the forest or whatever's nearby. Usually a guardrail just kind of keeps you in the general direction you need to go. And then I can fight the bug.
Well, I mean... So, are you saying Ant-Man and the Wasp style?
No, not at all. I'm still a full-size person fighting this little ant.
I get that, but are you a human being who's trying to fight this tiny little pint-sized bug?
Yeah.
So the flying bug, and what if it's flying, right? The flying bug, and it's all of a sudden and all of a sudden you're like poo 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 in the air, and then it's and then all of a sudden you get kicked, you're on the ground and you're like, ow, my body hurts because the bug just hit you in the face, full force, and punched you. As it's this tiny.
If I get knocked off my feet by a bug punching me, I deserve to lose. At that point, I'll stay on the ground and I will accept the fatality that the bug is about to deliver. Because at that point, I mean, if I can't take the bug earned it.
Mm-hmm.
The bug really earned it at that point. I will die to a bug if a bug challenges me into honorable hand-to-hand combat and I lose fair and square.
Well, it wouldn't really be hand-to-hand combat for them, that would it be?
Hand to insect limb combat. What do they have?
Legs.
Legs? Are
Yeah.
they considered legs if they're a bug?
I don't know, but I feel like it would be like hand to leg combat.
Hand to leg combat.
Yeah, because it would be like a because they're like this, and it'd be like.
I mean, I guess they're legs. They stand on them. So
Yeah.
I will challenge any bug that is brave enough to hand to leg combat. A duel, if you will. And if I lose, I accept the defeat, and you can take my life as you wish.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a man of my word.
In any
I'll
way?
let you don't have to be like a monster about it. I'm going off the fact that I'm going to win against the bug.
So you're this confident about this bug not beating you, right?
I feel like I can take a bug. I feel like I can take a lot of things, actually.
And what can you take, Alex?
First of all, gator, absolutely.
That is true.
Like I said, I would absolutely love to wrestle a gator sometime while I'm here. They're never around campus though. I do a pretty good job of keeping them away. It makes me a little sad.
Well,
I'm in the land of the gators, and there's none. Gatorless, if you will.
You know what you need to do?
What?
Is you need to pretend like you're not here, right?
Okay.
That means they will come out of hiding and be like, okay, cool, he's gone. And then all of a sudden, you just show up to their house, which is everywhere, because if Florida's their home and we're just living in it, right? You show up to home and you're like, and you're like, I'm here, and then all of a sudden you're like, you're punching them, you know? You're going.
So you want me to pretend that there's gators?
No.
No.
Okay. You will leave the state.
I'll leave the state.
Pretend to.
Pretend to leave the state.
Yes.
Oh, fake them out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're avoiding me. Why are they avoiding me? I'm such a likable guy.
No, because they're scared of you.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. I am one to be feared.
Yeah. Because,
anyone who's watched the podcast knows I'm a really scary guy.
Yeah, because they know that you're gonna wrestle them, and that they're going to inevitably lose because they're weak little gators, and you are a strong man.
That's true.
So they're scared, so they're hiding and eating just random stuff and going chomp chomp, right? And they're like, oh, Alex is not here. Let's go and hunt a little bird, a little bird, if you will. The white ones, of course. The with the long
sandpipers. Those guys.
Yeah, I think so. I see them on campus a lot. As I'm walking
they're
to
on
physics.
campus. They're on the beach too.
Yeah, I see them at the lake. Next to the marine, the surf building.
We have a lake.
Yeah, we have a lake.
We have a surf building.
Yes. I don't think that's called surf, but I do know it has sea creatures in it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the Link building.
No. So on your way to Harris.
Yeah.
And before you pass the mailing and shipping, building, the new one.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be on your right. So
that shed.
Yeah, it's that.
They call it the surf building. It's like the surf garage at best.
And guess what? That's the garage door that your mom opens up at 5:45.
No, oh my God. When I'm in the surf building and I hear the garage door, I'm like, oh God, I forgot to defrost the fish. Professor, I'm sorry. You're just still completely frozen. You weren't supposed to freeze the fish in the first place. It's dead. Professor, you weren't supposed to find out.
It's a good snack, though.
Yeah. The whatever marine biology professor walking in on me eating my fish sickle with the rare tropical fish the school just bought for us to observe and learn from.
And maybe dissect too, to learn about how the organs are, maybe.
That's what I ought to do sometime, is head over to either the surf building or the Link building. So I think the Link building also has an aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to pick one out like it's my pet. And I'll just start
actually grab it with your hands.
What I want to do is fish in the Link building aquarium and see how long till someone some professor's like, what are you doing? Those are rare. Those are really expensive tropical fish that the students used to. And I'm just reeling him in I got him. Just a hook through his mouth. No, what have you done?
I feel like you need a nice Barbie fishing rod.
Yeah,
the ones that you get at Walmart for children.
Yeah. That'd be even better. Yeah, like a 3-foot fishing rod. It's hot pink. It has like a Barbie decal on the side.
And the bobber is like this big for
Yep.
that much.
Yep.
You just need that and just sit like on like the glass and be like, okay, cool. I got a fish. Gotta get it.
Yeah, I'll wave it around like in a plastic bag, like it's a goldfish I won at a fair or something. But meanwhile, it's just like this 3-pound, like, I don't know, trout or whatever. And it's not tropical, but you get
No,
the idea.
I would say a clownfish is more tropical.
Yeah. I'll get a few clownfish, I'll get a few Nemos. And
Oh.
since I'll have a few, I won't be able to keep them in the tiny bag. I'll basically get like a plastic shopping bag, fill it with water, and just hold the top closed. I'll be walking around with that, and you'll be able to see the fish swimming around, just like as a silhouette, because it's not clear. But because it's not clear, then I'm more discreet.
That is true. But then what if someone's at? But then what if someone stops you, like the professor who just saw you take the fish, and what if he sees you and he says, "Alex, is that the fish that you just took?"
Well, what I would do, right? I see a professor is like in my field of view. I'm like, oh shoot, he's gonna catch me, and I take the bag and I just. And I hold the fish in the water in my mouth, like, and I have my cheeks out like this. And I just walk past the professor. He might give me a funny look, like, why is that kid walking around with his cheeks puffed out? But little does he know, I actually have his clownfish and his car keys, but he doesn't need to know that second part.
His car keys?
Well, they were shiny, so I wanted them. I don't plan to take his car. I'm gonna mount him to my wall.
And with your ever so growing collection of shiny things on your wall,
my ever so growing collection,
like the
shiny
hubcap?
miscellaneous hubcaps.
just make the keys into a hubcap, and then like a tiny little hubcap like this size, right?
Mhm.
And then it's just like, wow, that's a nice hubcap. What is it made out of? Keys.
I just start collecting people's car keys. There's like an epidemic on campus. It's like everyone's car keys are going missing. Where are they? Meanwhile, I'm like welding together this hubcap of car keys. It's like, oh, my creation. It's almost complete. It's beautiful.
It's the car key. It's a car key thief.
Yeah.
And then you'll be well known on campus. You'll be like, you'll be like the anonymous car key thief is coming for your keys.
Oh yeah, they will fear me. They'll have to start like a whole campaign to raise awareness of the car key thief in order for people to take extra precautions. Not that they'll stop me.
Even more than they fear you now.
They'll fear me even. Oh, for right now, just the gators fear me. Soon, everyone will fear me, and they'll fear for the safety of their car keys. Not the car though. I never take the car. I just want the keys.
Well,
that way, I can greatly inconvenience you.
Well, what if it's a nice car?
I don't care. Depends if it's nice keys.
What if it? What if it's like a Lamborghini or a nice expensive sports car that you
probably
can't
has
afford?
some expensive keys.
And what if they have some expensive stuff in that car too?
Are they keys?
I mean,
if they have like a key collection in their Lamborghini, then I'll raid the key collection.
Their house keys,
Well, this is a nice key collection, man. You really, how long you been collecting for? It's like, that's my house and for my work and my locker
and my studio key and my my safety key, and you're like, wow, all these keys for you.
Wow.
I'm gonna take them. Thank you.
Thanks. This is gonna look great in my room.
As my hubcap.
As a hubcap when I finally weld them together. My magnum opus. It'll be my senior design project.
Oh, that's
good.
I
need to do that. I'll just show up like, what did you make? As there's some students make some really cool inventions and innovations. It's like, I made this hubcap out of stolen car keys.
They'll love that.
have to let me graduate at that point.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like they'll definitely allow you to graduate, and maybe they'll even contact like Elon Musk and be like, hey Elon, this kid make a hubcap out of keys. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, Elon.
You should hire him.
I won't get an internship. He'll actually offer me the position of CEO on the spot.
So
he'll be like, we need your just genius running the company. And I'm going to take the reins. SpaceX, Tesla. I actually don't know if he belongs to both of those still, because I know they got upset at him. But regardless, they'll let me work there, and I will own them, and I'll go to space with SpaceX. And then I'll start stealing rocket keys. I mean, they have to have a key, right?
Rockets even have keys?
I mean,
I feel like
if it starts, it's got to have a key, right? Astronauts all right.
I feel like it's a button though. It's like It's like they press a button that says like, okay, like 3, 2, 1, take off, and then they press the button. I don't think it's a key.
Nah, I'd imagine it'd be more like making a quick run to the moon. Give me a second.
You know, actually, now that they say that, I think that you're right.
Yeah.
Because if I'm correct, I was watching a space launch and I saw that the rocket just grew 4 wheels and just started driving in space.
I mean, that they want you. It's also, okay. So space travel and all that stuff. It's all a psyop. They want you to think you need thrusters and there's no air and all this stuff because they don't want you to try and go there because now you think it's so complicated and there's so much stuff that goes into it. You just drive up. If you know how your car normally it has like some gears you never use, if you experiment around with your car a bit, especially if you're going really fast on the highway, start messing around with the gear shifter. One of them will make you go up, and you can just drive to space. And there's plenty of air. None of this vacuum nonsense. How is there nothing?
Yeah.
It's air.
Yeah,
Come on.
It's space. You have a ton of space to drive.
Exactly.
Come on.
You just drive through space. The
Yeah.
car goes
and
up, and then you can put it back into forward or drive. And yeah, and at that point, you're cruising through space, and the government can't stop you. I mean, they could with their spaceship. And you want to know what the spaceship is? It just has wheels that are hidden, and it has the thruster to, again, for show. It's to make it look complicated. They want you to think that you can't go to space on your own, but I can assure you you can, using just your car, messing with the gear shift on the highway. You'll get to space that way.
that is true.
I'm gonna add a disclaimer for legal purposes that you should not mess with your gear shift on the highway.
I'm gonna also say that you should, because you might find out some things about your car that you never know.
Maybe like the up gear that takes you to space.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you were on the moon right now. What would you be doing?
Oh, honestly, I would be roasting a marshmallow.
Honestly, I'd be eating it because it's made of cheese. And I want to know what kind of cheese. My theory is that it is Munster.
Space cheese.
Yeah, space cheese. Where do you think we get our cheese from? You think cheese is made from milk?
I don't know. I would say a planet that definitely has room for milk and cows. So definitely not Jupiter, or any of the gas planets, because those are too gassy for animals to live. I would say definitely close to the sun. So either Mercury or maybe even Mars. Because I mean, what life is on Mars?
Me. I go there from time to time because I know how to put my car into up gear. And they're like, oh, there's no life on Mars. When there's traces of water, it's usually because, again, I spilled my drink. And then they're like, there's traces of water on Mars. And they're like making a big deal about it. It's actually how they're explaining my presence there. They know I go up there. I actually get a call from Joe, Biden, every now and then. He's like, oh, I can't have you going up to Mars all the time, Alex. You're really starting to draw attention to us. I'm like, come on. It's the weekend. Chillax, Joe.
Come on, Joe. I just want to take a little break from school. Let me go to Mars for a little bit, please. I just want to, explore.
It's really got nothing on me because if he ever chases me, I'll just go into up gear.
That is true, and that means you can go into up gear on Mars, and that means you can escape him.
That's true.
And plus his probably his space vehicle is probably like very old because he is old.
Yeah.
Again,
taking an early 2000s Honda Civic to space, you can do it, but it's sort of like trying to drive in the summer without AC. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, that is true. And also, disclaimer: I have no personal thoughts about the president. I don't watch the news.
I actually don't have any thoughts about the president because I'm incapable. Again, there's like a rat up here that like pulls my hair and makes me do stuff. And he just decided to mention Joe Biden because he's involved with NASA, which is space.
Is he?
Well, NASA is government,
and
Joe Biden's government. So that the Venn diagram is basically a circle at that point.
Yeah. So it's NASA and Joe Biden, and then in between it's them.
Yes, that's how a Venn diagram works. It's both.
I thought that Venn diagram was 3.
No.
Was 3 squares.
Well, no, it's 2 circles, and then they overlap a little bit.
So it's not a triangle.
No, it's not a no. There's no triangles in the Venn diagram. I mean,
It could
maybe
be.
maybe a really nifty Venn diagram. Maybe if I can find a triangular Venn diagram and I'm willing to edit it in, unlikely, then we'll get to see if there's a triangular Venn
Venn diagram.
diagram.
I like that idea. I think that I feel like it exists because, triangles make up the world.
That's true.
And if you think about it, a Venn diagram is part of this world. A triangular Venn diagram has to exist, or else I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong. I'm always right.
That's how I like to view things too, is that I'm always right and never wrong. I mean, when you view the world like that, it gets so much simpler because I know all the answers.
Triangle. What's 2 plus 2, Alex?
That's much deeper than you think it is, actually.
It's a very easy question.
Well, no. If we take one of the 2's and let's just say we replace it with x, we have x plus 2. We'll find the answer, so we'll do it as the limit as x approaches 2 of x plus 2. We would substitute in the 2 because we can, since there's not any conflicts with substituting in a denominator of 0 or infinity, and we'll get 2 plus 2, which is 4.
So I thought it was triangle though, because 2 plus 2 is part of the world, so it's triangle. Think about it. 2 plus 2, triangle.
Wouldn't that make a rhombus?
Hmm.
2 plus 1 would make a triangle 'cause it's got 3 sides.
That is true, and also 2 plus 1 equals 3, which 3 equals triangle.
Yes, because they have 3 sides.
I guess it would make a rhombus in a way, or maybe a quadrilateral, quadrilateral.
Quadrilateral, so it has 4 sides? That's what a quadrilateral is.
No.
No?
Well, a quadrilateral is actually is made from triangles though, from 2 triangles. Because if you think about it, it's kind of like this, right?
Yeah.
So triangle down the center. You make a diagonal, and it's 2 triangles. And then if you want to go a little more crazier, you put another diagonal there. You know what that is? 4 triangles.
This is why I barely passed geometry in high school. This is about how much sense it made.
I passed geometry.
I passed. It was a little close, but I passed.
What'd you pass with?
It was probably a low C because it was like a probably a low B or a high C before the final, and then I got a D on my geometry final. Again, sophomore year of high school, honors geometry. So on what? I'll take it.
Honors? Disgusting. I just took normal geometry. And even then I was confused. I'm like, okay. Wonderful.
Actually, that wasn't even sophomore year of high school. That was freshman year of high school.
You took geometry in freshman year?
Yeah. So my curriculum for math, right? Normally, you would just do middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, whatever math program they have. And then freshman year of high school, you would start with Algebra 1, then go to Geometry, then Algebra 2, then Pre-Calc. However, I was put into advanced math in 7th grade. So in 7th grade advanced math, what they do is you do both the 7th and 8th grade math curriculum in 1 year. And then in 8th grade, you take the high school Algebra 1 course. So then once you get to high school freshman year, you're already in geometry. And I was really bad. How I was kept in the honors math program after geometry, I'm unaware. I'm thankful I was because I did great in Algebra 2. I got an A. But there was no reason. I clearly struggled and barely got through geometry my freshman year. What I am thankful for is I was taken out of honors English.
Ew.
I got into honors English freshman year, and I was like, I can do it. And again, I'm the first one in my family to go to high school. Well, not as in I'm the oldest of my sisters. So I'm the first of the 3 of us to go to high school. And so we don't know much about the classes or anything as my freshman year going to high school. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll take honors. I'm getting honors, everything, whatever. I get into honors English. It's probably one of the most brutal courses I ever took there. It was I was reading Shakespeare. My essays, which were getting 100s or high 90s in middle school, were getting C's, sometimes even D's now. in honors English. So I basically had to completely relearn how to write an essay. I had to read all these poems and stuff I didn't care about and really couldn't understand. And then at the end of towards, I forget when they have to do course recommendations, my English teacher, he kind of pulls me aside. He really cool guy. One of my favorite teachers from high school is Mr. Gagnon, but he just taught a really sucky course. He kind of pulls me aside. He's like, okay, so I can see you're starting to get better. You're starting to get the hang of this, but based on your current performance, I think I'm going to put you into normal English. Is that all right with you? I'm like, yes. Do not put me into honors English. He's like, okay.
I have never been in honors English my whole life, and even I cannot do English. English maybe my first language, but can I speak it well? No, I cannot speak it well. I stumble over words a lot, and I also cannot pronounce some words, which is really fun because I feel like I'm really living my best life without knowing English, even though I know English well enough.
I also love stumbling over words. That'll be very apparent when we're going back editing this. They'll just be like you stumbling over words, and then I'm stumbling over words. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like after that freshman year of English, when it came to writing, I was way more proficient. And all my future years of English in high school, I was actually able to write competent essays. And even now, I'm still able to write competent essays because of that. That was like a really good foundation. It was just such a brutal and like sudden foundation that it really hurt. It was like, it wasn't like building the foundation. It wasn't like I was building the foundation myself. It was like the foundation just kind of fell on me and I had to climb up to the surface to get to survive.
So like Spider-Man Homecoming, when the vulture drops the building on him.
Oh yeah, that does happen.
That one?
I did. I'm not a fan of the Tom Holland Spider-Mans.
What don't you like about Tom Holland Spider-Man?
I don't like that he's babied by Iron Man. I feel like Spider-Man is supposed to be self-made, right? He's a New Yorker. So he's supposed to be self-made, and he doesn't have a whole lot, but he makes do with what he has. That's Spider-Man. But this is just like some kid, and don't get me wrong, I do believe his backstory is not like super rich or anything, but then there's just a super rich guy that keeps giving him stuff. So I know the point of Homecoming is then it's like, oh, if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it. But at the same time, he still has the suit that you made that's really expensive that he couldn't have made himself.
Yeah, I get that. I think that, that that Marvel tried to make it different from the other Spider-Mans because the other Spider-Man they didn't really had like a mentor to look up to. So like it was more of just like a
But the mentor's Uncle Ben.
Yeah, but then
And
he
he's
dies.
not a superhero per se, but he's just like an upstanding guy.
Well, yeah, but I mean Uncle Ben is still thought in Tom Holland's Spider-Man's life. It's just that I can see where Marvel's going with that. I
Mhm.
will say I do agree that he is a bit too much babied, but I think all in all that he shows that he is willing to be Spider-Man. Or not willing, but
Yeah.
like that he can be Spider-Man even without Iron Man's help. And that's really seen in what's it called? The new one. For No Way Home.
No Way Home. I didn't watch No Way Home.
Oh my god, I watched it. It was amazing. I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
I just wish that at least like the first Marvel Spider-Man with Tom Holland that came out, I just wish he had one movie where he didn't have like Iron Man and all this stuff. Like I get now that Iron Man's gone, right? They kind of gave him the axe and now Tom Holland's on his own. But I wish there was like a movie like prior to him even getting access to Stark, whatever, all the fancy suits and the suit making stuff. I wanted to see a self-made Spider-Man, and then Iron Man can help him out. But instead, I saw like he pulls up like a video clip once. He's like, "This
Oh
is you,
yeah.
right?" And he's
Yeah,
like,
he does.
"Oh." But it's like I want a movie of that. I want a movie of self-made Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Versus now he just keeps going off the Iron Man stuff. Made like a prequel. I want a prequel to Homecoming. That could make me enjoy Tom Holland Spider-Man a bit more.
And maybe bring in the line, It's pizza time.
Yeah, if they bring back Pizza Time, I'll go completely backtrack on everything I just said. My favorite Spider-Man will be Tom Holland if he brings back Pizza Time.
So then, who is your favorite Spider-Man? If
My
it's not Tom
favorite,
Holland,
I am gonna have to go with Tobey Maguire.
that's a good choice.
Actually, over winter break, I rewatched the Maguire trilogy, and it's just so fun. They're such like classic early 2010 movies, like superhero movies. I don't know, they have that feel about them, right? The sort of, you know what I'm talking about, like a 2010
Nostalgia?
movie. I guess it is nostalgia, but like the way it's filmed and like set up, like modern movies, right? They're always so dramatic and they have all these fancy like shots. Not to say that there isn't fancy shots in the original Spider-Man Maguire trilogy, but it's just framed, I don't know, differently. There's definitely much more mature and proper words to describe the difference in filmmaking techniques, but I don't know them. So I'm just going to use different and nostalgic.
The rat's not doing his job right now.
The rat is kind of like, he's a little distracted. I think he has ADHD. He'll just kind of start spacing out every now and then. And then it looks like I'm spacing out, which I always am. But then it's like the rat's not behind the wheels, not taking the reins anymore. And now I'm just a loose cannon.
The rat's sleeping on the job right now.
He is. I don't know what I pay him for. Not that I pay him.
You pay him?
No, not at all.
I was gonna say, why do you pay him if he's not doing his job right now, man?
Oh, absolutely. This is like, I'm going to dock his pay, which is already zero. So I guess it's not that different. I could take money from him, negative pay.
Make it -0 money.
I'm going to find the rat's wallet, and I'm going to take $1 out of it. I'm going to say, this is what's going to happen if you keep sleeping on the job.
All you would find in there is probably just cheese.
Yeah.
And just eat the cheese.
One monicum of cheese. It will be mine. Cheddar, to be specific.
Cheddar cheese, that's good. Do you like sharp cheddar or like, do you like sharp cheddar or just like cheddar cheese itself?
So, I mean, of course, I'm a cheddar enjoyer off the bat, but I will say I do enjoy snacking on some sharp cheddar, especially with either crackers or just like eating small bits of it at a time. You know, it's like, it's strong. You have a little bit of cheddar. It's like eating dark chocolate. There's a technique to eating it. If you take a big bite, it's really gross and vile, but you eat a little bit at a time, and it's actually rather enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. So you're kind of like a rat. You're like,
yes, exactly. I eat sharp cheddar like I'm a rat. Actually, that reminds me. When I was home for winter break, I visited my high school and my engineering teacher. It was the day before they got out for break, and she always does a holiday party the day before break. Mm-hmm. So they brought in food and whatnot, and my friend, who's an underclassman, I kind of know him. We knew each other better in middle school, and it's like I still know him now. We just don't talk a lot. He brought a charcuterie board, but not a lot of people ate from the charcuterie board. There's a lot of other stuff. Part of that charcuterie board was a block of sharp cheddar cheese, and it was like it didn't even get opened, and so he just has this whole block of cheese he doesn't really want to take back home with him. And he goes, "Hey, you want this?" I go, "Yeah." I take the block of cheddar cheese, I peel open the wrapper like a banana, and I just start eating it through the hallways.
How big was this block of cheddar cheese?
It was definitely like I had to grip it like this. It wasn't like massive, but it was a solid rectangle. It wasn't like he gave me like a little like slice or something. Mm-hmm. It was like I definitely had maybe like half a pound of sharp cheddar cheese just in my hand. And walking around the hallways eating it. I got really funny looks from not only students, but like other like teachers, and especially the security guards are like, "What is he doing?" I'm in the car, and I'm just like, I have it in one hand driving, my other hand's on the wheel, one hand with the block of sharp cheddar that I'm nibbling on. Yeah, and everyone's confused. I put it on my story, I think. I took a picture of it with like a few bites taken out of it, and I just captioned it like "banane."
Imagine if someone was driving but next to you and all I saw was this.
Some dude eating a block.
And all I saw was this. Delicious. I love this. and they're like, "What are you doing over there?" But like in their mind they're like, "Oh, okay."
It's Friday, which means that Alex gets to nibble on sharp cheddar cheese. It is his favorite activity.
It's like those videos where the cat.
Yeah, with the cat. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the cat where it's like it's Monday. So Benjamin gets to
No.
take a cracker.
It's Gandalf.
Oh yeah,
it's
Gandalf.
Monday, which means that Gandalf gets to lick a graham cracker. It is his favorite activity.
And then he's
Yep.
he's done.
Yeah, that's the video. He just licks a graham cracker.
And that's his Monday.
It was exactly as advertised. I can't complain. I went there expecting Gandalf to lick a graham cracker on Monday, and then I'm presented with Gandalf licking a graham cracker on Monday.
True. Every Monday. Even now, if you check TikTok, if you will, the tickety-tockety, if you check TikTok, every single Monday, you will find on your For You page Gandalf licking a graham cracker.
I hope he still uploads. I want that to be a weekly thing. This guy just uploads his cat licking a graham cracker.
Yeah, definitely, because it's definitely a good way to have people watch your videos, because hey, I'm interested in Gandalf licking a cracker.
Oh yeah.
I feel so happy for a cat who has to lick a graham cracker, because I can't do that. So I'm gonna have my enjoyment to a cat who gets to do it every Monday.
I should join him. I should watch Gandalf and get out like my own graham cracker, like it's popcorn, and I lick the graham cracker as Gandalf does, and I feel like I am Gandalf.
just grow some ears in there, all good.
I mean, yeah, I start acting like a cat. Actually, that's a little too weird. Listen, I'd be all for acting like a cat if I was not gonna, then I'd be like a cat boy.
Are you a furry?
No, I'm not a furry. Rena did that recently. One of our coworkers, you've never met her. She made a Gleason Performing Arts Center staff as right on the board. It was something Kayla had done before with different things, different subjects. Rena decided she was going to force everyone to take a fursona quiz and then write that on the board. I was not given a specific fursona. I was given hybrid. So it's like, oh, you get to pick two. So I'm like, oh, perfect. I pick human and human, right? I beat the system. Rena's like, that means you're always your fursona, Alex. And she just writes furry on the board. I was like,
constant.
Oh.
If you
constant, yeah, basically.
It goes human furry in parentheses constant. And
yeah,
that's what it is. I got a fox on that quiz. I took it twice just to make sure, and I got a fox every single time.
I just wish I got a damn animal. It would have been better than what I ended up getting.
Well, if you think about it, humans are animals.
Humans are animals. That was like the cheat. It was like, oh,
we are mammals. So hypothetically, you are a double animal, really.
I'm a double. Yeah, I'm a double animal.
Yeah.
That was the goal, right?
Yeah,
Humans are animals. I'm half human, half human. I'm human. I'm not a furry. And then it's like, no, that just means you're always your fursona, Alex. So
you are.
I lost. I lost that battle. Rest my words, Rena. I will figure out how to get back at you for that one. I will commandeer the board next time, and it will make you look bad.
That's Kayla's job. You cannot take her job. You can tell her. I will say you can tell her to do a certain thing, and she might do it. But you cannot just write on the board and draw. That is Kayla's thing and Kayla's thing only.
Kayla, if you see this, I need you to make Arena look bad. Not very bad, but just the equivalent bad that I look now. I mean, we all
bad enough to cause some. Not to cause minimal damage, but not bad enough to ruin the whole life.
Not like career damage or anything like that, just emotional damage. That's what I need.
Like the video. Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
That's me whenever I drop my my milk and it turns into white ice up north.
Yeah, up north when it's always just freezing cold.
Yeah.
Like, I swear, there's so many people here that walk around and they have like hoodies and like long pants on. And they're like, oh my God, it's so cold out. And I look at the temperature and it's 60 degrees out. Look, are you sure? Are you sure it's that cold, buddy? Rena did this. We were walking to the studio once. I think it was 50 out. And she's like, oh my God, it's so cold out right now. She's like, she has her arms like, crossed, trying to like warm herself up. And I look I'm like, it's 50 degrees, Rena. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. I'm just like standing next to her just fine.
Well, I mean, I will say that living in Florida for like a year now,
Mm-hmm.
and now that I moved here, I will say my body has gotten used to um it getting colder around 60. And so now I'm cold at 60 degrees. But that's because my body's getting used to it. But I will say when I got here, at first I was like, it's not cold, and everyone's like, yes, I'm like, I'm not cold though. I'm like, it is like wintertime. It feels like fall.
Mm.
It feels like a nice Jersey fall, you know?
Yeah, that's it. That's how I would describe like winter here. Is
Yeah.
it just feels like spring/fall.
And I love it so much because I get to wear my sweatshirts and my pants without feeling like I'm dying of a heat stroke, which I do every single day because I always wear pants and a sweatshirt most of the time.
Nah, I was shorts and a t-shirt year round in Connecticut, so that hasn't changed here.
Yeah.
But that is the one thing. Now that I think I mentioned I got like the free hoodie from when we worked that one event, and we got like the admissions hoodie. It's like the lady gave it to us, and it's a really nice hoodie. And not only does it feel great because it's so soft on the inside, but it looks really nice. It's like that nice like crimson red. That's the school red with like the Florida Tech swoosh on it. But I can basically never wear it because I'm always either like too hot or like just right here. It's never cold. When I was home for winter break, there were some days I go outside and it was like close to 30 with wind, and I was like, I'm going to wear the hoodie because I look sick with this hoodie on. But here, I would actually melt. You would walk by and there would be the Florida Tech hoodie on the ground and like a puddle beneath it. It'd be like, help, cool me off.
It's kind of like a puddle that speaks. It's like a puddle of liquid, and then there's just a mouth moving that's like, help, please.
Help me. It's too hot in this state. And I can't even find the gators. That was the trade-off. I give up cold and I gain gators, and I got no gators, but I got a lot of heat.
Listen, if you want to find a gator, just go to the mangroves.
Where are these mangroves?
Down South Florida, basically.
South Florida. I need to go further south for the gators.
Yes. You need to go to I believe it is like, I think it's like Holiday Park. They have there's a show called Gator Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you watched it before, but
I've not.
But it's basically like this like group of people. Most of the time it's just two guys, but there is this one girl, this one woman. She and they would always get calls for gators that would be in like a person's backyard of their house. So they would be called there, and they would just do a little drive over there, and they would go there and they would catch a gator by just absolutely just going on the gator, the neck, and just make it mad. Okay. The key to making gator mad is to just dangle something and just do a little, hey, I'm over here.
Get something shiny. Get like the keys I stole. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, and also touch the tail, because I'm like, it's actually really fun to watch. It kind of looks like a helpless animal, but it's not helpless at all because it will kill you. Unless you're Alex, but
Yeah. I think I'm going to add gator taunting to my list of things to do over spring break now that I know to go to Holiday Park.
Yeah, and it's better just go down like more south, and then I think you can probably get in the pen with the gator, and then just of course supervise with them, and then just wrestle that gator.
Oh, absolutely. The gator will be not only taunted with my shiny key collection, but wrestled.
Yeah.
The gator will know who's in charge, and I'll be like, all right, fine. I'll be able to walk like the Everglades, and I'll be like, oh, shoot, that's the Alex guy, and it'll clear a path for me. They know they can't take me.
Mm-hmm. I feel like unless they, or do you think that they'll be able to take you if they all get ganged up on you?
No.
Of course.
No, I can take them. I can take them all.
Are you the Hulk when it comes to gators?
Yeah, about the equivalent. I'd basically be crowned King Gator after the encounter.
The King of Gators.
The King of Gators. Alex. Naturally.
Alex, the King of Gators.
I'd roam the Everglades. It would be my kingdom. And the gators would be my subjects. They would bow to me. They'd be like, oh, Alex, spare us. and I'd make an example out of one of them. I'd pick the weakest gator, and I'd be like, rah, and I'd wrestle him. They'd be like, no, not tiny gator Tim.
Tim?
I don't know. I can't put the name on the spot.
I feel like a good gator name would not be Tim. I feel like a good gator name would be like, let's see, Russell.
Russell?
Yeah.
Tiny gator Russell?
Yeah, because when I think of Russell, I think of like a nerd.
I could wrestle Russell.
Yeah.
I could take him.
Yeah, cause like when I think of Russell, you know, I think of, Russell from Up.
Yeah.
How he was like such a nerd for getting badges.
Yeah.
You know, patches, whatever they're called. He was like, I want a patch, and I'm like, I don't care. So I feel like Russell would be a good weak gator name because it's kind of like a nerd, and as we know, nerds are nerds, and I mean, we are nerds because we go to a nerd school.
We do go to a nerd school.
But
in fact, I even was a Boy Scout. I have badges.
I was a Girl Scout once.
Whoa.
I know, right? It's full circle.
This is crazy.
But you see, the thing is that we are strong nerds. Russell is a weak nerd. And
Russell would not be able to take a gator.
No, even though he's a gator himself,
yeah.
he would die.
Gator on gator combat with Russell loses every time.
Yeah.
Gator on human combat, and I'm the human and Russell's the gator. Russell still loses because I'm better than him.
Well,
not even like necessarily physically either, just like mentally and emotionally, I am more powerful than Russell. I simply radiate more self-esteem, and he fears me, like in like a social sense. Like he feels like he'll climb down the social ladder if he tries to fight me.
Well, actually, if you think about it, you are a human, a hybrid furry. So, if you will, you are a human, a double human, if you will, and you are a constant, and you are in your persona constantly. So it is animal on animal combat, animal on gator combat, if you will.
We could go down that road. We could say that I'm an animal. I really lost big on that whole persona quiz. I really put myself in a pickle by just saying human, and now it's just constantly I am a persona.
Ooh, I love pickles. What's your favorite kind of pickle?
Dill.
Oh, I love it. I love dill pickles, but I like dill pickles either next to a sandwich, but not by themselves. By themselves, I like a good bread and butter pickle.
I can't say I have connoisseured pickles enough to be able to pick out my favorite to just eat.
Oh no!
I normally just get like the kosher dill pickles and put them on my sandwich.
You see, I am a connoisseur of pickles.
Okay.
And what I will do, and this may sound weird to some people, so I'm sorry. However, I like to grab a jar of pickles and just, eat them from the jar. Do a little.
I've done that before.
And my older mate will look at me weird and like, why are you doing that? I'm like, they're good. And because they're bread and butter pickles, the juice itself tastes delicious. Because dill pickle juice, it just tastes too sour or tart for me. I don't like the taste of it. It tastes like I'm like drinking metal. I don't like that. So the juice of bread and butter pickles is absolutely divine. So I like to drink that. And I can only drink about a small bit, but I mean, either way, it tastes delicious. And people have a problem with me drinking pickle juice straight from the jar, but I'm like, is it really weird? Because I feel like there's much weirder things in the world.
There are much weirder things you could be eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like pickles, that's pretty reasonable. I feel like we are both too harshly judged for strange things that we eat that really aren't that strange. Pickles are not that strange. In my opinion, frozen pizza rolls aren't that strange either.
No, you see, frozen pizza rolls are when you are, because I had them before, and that's like when you're too lazy to put them in the microwave.
It's laziness.
And you're like, but I'm hungry, and I can eat a whole cow in about 5 minutes, but I don't have 2 minutes to waste, or actually most times it's like 2.5 minutes really, because I have to flip them over. And you're like, I don't have 2.5 minutes to waste by just by just standing in front of this microwave, looking at it very deeply, like this, as you're waiting for your pizza rolls to heat up, and then they have to also, of course, flip them. So that means they get both equally heated up on both sides, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have 2 minutes to waste.
I know. I'm too hungry for this. I can't even focus. I'm actually gnawing on the microwave door trying to do this.
You're like,
I'm trying to get it to like start. I'm like fiddling with the little lock, trying to get it to start while the microwave's open, so I can save the time of closing and opening the door again. And just like a microwave. Oh, what's the worst it's gonna do? Microwave me? Yeah, right.
The microwave is too small for that.
And if I leave the microwave open while it runs, it actually lets me see new colors. But that's besides the point.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Your microwave does that?
Well, I messed with the microwave enough. I modded my microwave to run with the door open, and now I can see Schmerble.
You see, mine it can't do that, unfortunately. I have not modded it enough.
Yeah, no, you gotta mod your microwave. We should do a tutorial. We should encourage people modify your microwaves to run with the door open. Courtesy of the Gleason Performing Arts Center podcast.
Yeah. How to mod your microwave. Part 1. Mod it you can cook it open. You can cook with it open, and that means all the heat and all the waves will go right into your face.
Yes, makes you feel warm and welcome.
And
it's like walking into a fire, like the fireplace is on almost.
And that means you also have a higher chance of cancer, and that's the best part.
Yeah, but kind of worth it though.
Yeah, that is true.
It's a chance. And if I've learned anything from gambling, it's that I'm gonna take that chance.
Do you gamble a lot?
All the time. I have $0 to my name because I gamble it all away. As soon as I get a paycheck from Jeff, I'm like off to the casino. I'm putting that bad boy on blackjack. I go all in first round and I always lose.
Damn. That does suck for you.
Until the day I win, Ken. It's inevitable. If I keep losing, I inevitably have to win. That's the healthy mindset of the gambler. And that means I'll double my winnings and I'll put them all in again, and I'll double those, and eventually I'll just have infinite money. That's how gambling works. There's no way to really lose if you stick with it. You will come out on top eventually. 99% of gambling addicts quit before they win big. Like they're right about to get those gazillion dollars, and they're like, I gotta go to a support group. I am gambling away my life savings. No. Go back. When the odds are against you, double down. That's my advice.
I like that. I like that advice. You know, I have a random question for you, Alex.
Okay.
If you were a bird, what kind of bird would you be?
What kind of bird would I be? Ooh.
And it's not based on like personality wise or anything.
Not personality, just like what I'd want, like skill wise.
Or yeah, it can be skill wise or just like what you feel like you would be the best as a bird.
I think I would be a pigeon. Allow me to explain. Pigeons, right? I still get flight, right? I'm not picking a flightless bird. I want to fly. But I'm not just totally left to my own devices in the wild. I'm a city bird. I'm in New York, and I'm getting food scraps. So I'm still getting good food. I'm getting New York pizza crust. But I'm a bird, so I also just have the freedom of not worrying about taxes or having a job. I fly around. I get to do whatever I want all day, and when I'm hungry, I sit around like the hot dog stand and I like snag a hot dog roll, and that's my life. And I think that's pretty good.
I like that answer. I think that's the most detailed answer I've ever got because I asked Jeff and I asked Ed and I asked everyone around me, and they all said like owl. I forget the name of it. But it's on the board in the office. Jeff said it, and I'm like, okay. But I'm like, but why? Because, like, there has to be a reason why you chose that bird to be. It's like, it's not just like your personality. It has to be like, you know, like what they offer. And like what you said before, it's like, you know, like a pigeon in New York, all I get to do is just walk like that.
That's true. I also get to like plug walk around the city and just look cool.
You're like, where's the food?
Exactly.
Where's the food?
And then they feed me inevitably.
Yeah. So
either on purpose or they just like drop their food and it's mine.
Drop their New York pizza.
5-second rule doesn't exist in New York because of the pigeons. It's a fact.
No. If I would be a bird, like those tiny, I forget the name, but it's like a tiny, tiny bird, and like I watched a documentary about it, and this bird, it's like there's many species many species of it, and it's so cute, cause like they have these like nice like mating calls, and it's like, ooh, I like it a lot.
Okay.
But I know it sounds weird.
A little.
It's fine. But like they're just like so cute, and like they live a life like very free, because like, they find their mate and then they go off and live their life. And they're also just so tiny and adorable, and I really relate to that.
Huh.
Or I would be an ostrich and pick everyone out. Just
I will say, my second pick, definitely ostrich or emu, really.
Oh, I love emus.
I know I give up flight, right? But I just gain being a tank and a threat to the Australian government, both of which are aspirations of mine. Even as like a human, right? Eventually I'll become a tank, totally unstoppable, and eventually I will use that to my advantage and become a threat to the Australian government. I will not elaborate any further on either of these points.
I like those points. You see, because if I'm not that tiny bird, I'm an ostrich. And because I relate to the fact that I can just peck someone's eyeball out, and not in a bad way, of course. I would never do it to anyone. Never. But I like the fact that I can just easily just, I can be a threat, a harmful threat to everyone around me. And that means I can live my life, live my antisocial life that I already live, but with with benefits.
Both benefits.
Strength. And also the fact that I can just, look at you and then chase you as you're scared. And you're like, ah, and I'm like, hello.
Yeah, I like I can respect the aspiration of inflicting fear and then utilizing that to my advantage to chase people around as a bird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a nice aspiration for my life, really.
Because I think we both have good aspirations.
Yeah, I also want to be a lizard too.
I think you did mention this.
I did. And I mentioned it at work, one work shift, because I want to be a lizard for the sole reason, not because they're cool. They are cool. But I just want to be a lizard just so I can sit on a rock and bask on a rock, bask in the sun on a rock. And my profile picture on Discord right now is a lizard on its back.
Oh,
it is me every single day. So that's why it's my profile picture.
My Discord profile picture, it's a picture I took of myself. It's a selfie with like my Hawaiian shirt on, and it was at night, and I didn't realize I had my flash on. So then my phone turned on the flash because it was dark, and I get absolutely, so I just like make the strangest face because I'm taken aback by this the light of the heavens projecting out of my phone directly into my face. And I have this great picture of me. I'll have to show you afterwards.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
And I'll show you mine.
Perfect.
On the topic of Discord profile pictures, I see my fair share of weird ones.
Oh.
And I forget most of them. That's because I just try to keep them out of my mind. But, my old one used to be a picture of me smiling like that. I barely smile, so. But then I would be, but then I had a loaf of bread right next to me.
Okay.
It was Hawaiian rolls, but like the slices. So it was a Hawaiian brand.
But it was just a loaf of bread, not the little rolls.
Yeah.
That's
And I'll take this. And I will tell you, I had that for like a good like month, and I think before that it was just like a random picture in my camera roll. But other than that, people's Discord photos need to change. If it's too weird while looking at it and I'm questioning what it is, change it, because I don't want to think when I'm on Discord.
That's fair.
I'm only there to type and go out of it.
That profile picture I told you I have now with me with the camera flash, that only recently happened. Like probably January, I set that as my profile picture. For probably however many years I've had my account for. Before that, what it was instead, it was a picture of my friend that I took in 8th grade of him, and he looks so unamused and displeased by the fact that he's having his photo taken. I used that throughout 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade French class. Whenever we had to make a project, right, you would make a presentation, right, and you could, you have to tell a story in French about this, and it's like have pictures of this. And I would just make everything out of him. Like I'd stretch his face out really weird to be like a curtain. And it was always, and so in French class, in middle school, we got to pick French names, and we would go by our French names in French class. And he picked Pierre, so it was always the Chateau de Pierre, stuff like that. It was so much fun. At first, he was kind of like, "Why are you doing this?" And eventually, he accepted it as fact, and he's like, "Oh, can't wait for French today. Can't wait to see what monstrosity is made with my face."
Speaking of French class, in my French class in high school, we would listen to songs. So, like, number songs.
Oh.
There was this one, I don't know if you know it, but, like, this one number song that's, like, 1 through 20, like, 30, 20 through whatever, and all of that. And they would be, like, these, like worm little fellas, if you will. And they would have dreadlocks. And, I think, like, a Jamaican colored hat. So, okay, so, like, like those bananas that you see at not a carnival, but like a boardwalk, if you will,
yeah.
and it has like dreadlocks and like
Yep,
like the
I know.
hat.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So imagine like the hairstyle and the hat, but just like on like an earthworm.
Okay.
It sounds
a little absurd. I don't know exactly what it has to do with French numbers, but
and basically they would just do this. They were like, as they sing numbers. I don't know who came up with that idea, but they would do it, and it would like this. But they would be like quoi, and they would say the numbers in French up until 20 for one video, and then they'll also do
What?
I don't know, but it was the highlight of whenever we learn numbers, I'd be like, yeah, let's watch a video again. And I'd always sing, and I'd always dance along because it's really funny. And I don't know why, but like I like doing a dance.
We didn't have a number song, but we did have a song. It was to conjugate. I forget for what word, or even how. All I know is the endings of the conjugation at this point. I think so, because it's ISCS, ISSEN, or no, shoot. ISESCS, ISSONS, ISENZ, ISSENT. I still know that to this day. I didn't even remember what word it was to conjugate for. I just know that song. It's stuck with me ever since like 7th grade.
I feel like that's like the conjugation for like most words in French.
It probably is.
That end in like a certain letters, like the verbs in themselves, because I think it's. I don't know. I know. I think it's like just suis, and like two. I am.
Two. Yeah, it's je suis.
Yeah, je suis tout son.
Is it song? No.
No, two. No, two.
Oh God. You're making me think back so far ago. You have no idea how long it's been since I've taken French.
Isn't it like two and then like. What is it? What's after two? Il? Yeah,
yeah, because you'd go he, she, so il, elle.
Yeah, and then it would be vu, no, nous, which is we. Vu is you, but formal.
Yep.
And then ils and elles, which is they.
Yep.
Female and male.
But you don't even pronounce the S, if I remember correctly. It's just il and elle again, but there's an S written.
Yeah, but
speak. It just depends on how you conjugate.
Yeah, but the only way that you know if it's like they is the way that you pronounce the verb.
Yes, exactly. You have to conjugate it correctly.
Which that's the fun part about French. Also, my French name was Kendra.
Ooh. Mine was Eric.
Mine was my teacher.
Yeah.
She was definitely in high school. She was definitely a bit of how do I say it without sounding rude?
Eccentric?
Yeah, eccentric. I like that word.
Okay.
She spoke 5 languages.
Oh.
I believe it was like French, English, German, and whatever else. She was also deaf and blind at the same time. Partially deaf and partially blind, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I was gonna say, how does she learn the languages if she can't hear?
Yeah, not fully, but like she could not hear well.
Okay.
And she was just, I don't know. She made class very interesting as at times. And she would just go on, and she would just yell at us, because there were some times where we were in class, and then because like for roll call, we have to say present, present instead of
Okay.
and not here, but we have to say present or present, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, Kendra, I'm like present. She's like, huh? I'm like present. She's like, okay. And I'm like, I am yelling across the room, my dude. I am yelling across the room just to say present. You have hearing aids. Turn them up, please.
Thankfully, my French teacher was not blind nor deaf. Or deaf. Yeah, no, my French teacher was deaf. Oh my god. I tried to go back to do a bit on my French teacher being deaf, and I said deaf when I meant to say deaf. And I said deaf when I meant to say deaf. I should just quit English and just go in
his
back
French
into French.
teacher is deaf.
He's deaf, and believe it or not, deaf is deaf. He
Mhm.
can't hear you plead, please, no, good sir. It's too soon for me.
No.
It's just
no.
he doesn't hear you. He's not trying to be rude. He just, if you do like sign language, sometimes you can bargain with him. Actually, he appreciates it. You should try it out.
Mhm.
Though, if you are confronting death, there are also a few other things that will probably be on your mind. You might not be able to whip out ASL that quickly. I actually don't know any sign language.
Me neither, but I would say one thing on my mind if I were approaching death is, did I turn the oven off? And that's definitely one thing that I think about a lot. But not, I mean, not right now, because the oven's always off in my dorm, but
We'd make sure you don't want to leave it on.
No, because Harris A already has enough fires and enough.
I keep seeing that on Yik Yak, that there's a lot of fires at Harris.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's actually really fun because Harris A is kind of like the ghetto building of the of L through Harris Village. So there's A, B, and C.
Okay.
A is kind of like the weed one because everyone there, not me of course, because I'm a good person. They smoke weed.
Okay.
Or just like smoke. B is like the party one. They drink and party.
Yeah.
And then C is the building. It's the quiet one because it has all the master students in it who are just studying every breathing second of their life. So I live in A.
Okay.
And it's really a fun ride sometimes. I like this a lot because it reminds me of home in Orlando. It really reminds me of home there. The place I live is quite the same as Harris A.
It gets as lively as Harris A.
Because there's weed. I can smell it whenever I leave my apartment. And just people just are absolute. I don't like them, but I know I don't talk to them at all. So hey. But in Harris A, it's even better because the fire alarm, there's fire alarm testing in Harris A.
Okay.
For a certain amount of time.
Right.
But even without the fire alarm testing, the fire alarms will go off. Being an active fire or just someone smoking in their room and didn't think about the fire alarm in their rooms.
The fact that the fire alarm would go off.
If they sensed an even ounce of smoke. So, yeah, it's definitely a fun place to live.
I have to say, the Roberts Hall last semester was so bad when it came to fire alarms. I live in 7th floor Roberts Hall currently. And last semester, at the beginning, right? Like we just moved in, it's August/September. Every week, we would have a fire alarm, not a drill. Someone was smoking and they set off the fire alarm again. And sure enough, we all had to evacuate the building because it's a fire alarm. They have to call the fire department because they're the only ones that can turn it off. and then they turn off the fire. They eventually got to the point, it was my floor. It was 7th floor. It got to the point where they let everyone else in except 7th floor, and they had to talk with us. They're like, guys, we understand that some of you smoke. Just do it outside. It's getting too expensive to keep having the fire department come here every week to turn off the fire alarm.
Damn. That does sound bad. I hate that.
It was nuts. I can't fathom, like, how after the first, like, 2 times you not realize this is setting off the fire alarm and is greatly inconveniencing me and everyone else in the building. Maybe I should stop. It's like, no. And the next week it's like, yeah, I bet they turn off the fire alarms this time.
They're always on.
Oh yeah, and then 7th floor just constantly smells like weed, but that's besides the point.
In the elevator,
Mhm.
I walk in there, and sometimes I smell weed. I'm like, oh, someone's having
Yep.
a good. I'm like, someone's having a good day. And again, I live on the top floor, so the 5th floor, because why not? I like that. I have a nice view of the soccer field, the baseball field, the off-face center, which I hear the bell go ding ding.
I do like
ding,
getting the time off
ding.
the bell. It makes me feel cool, like I'm in Victorian era, wherever. It's like, oh, the church bell is ringing. I must listen to get the time.
It's 7 p.m.
Mm.
You're in here, ding, ding, 7 times.
Yep.
Have fun, and it's so much fun because I walk back from class and I'm like, oh, it's 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Because I would hear I think is it the ultimate? No, not that. I don't think it's that. But it's like, it's like the first like 3 times the bell rings there. It's like some sort of song.
Oh yeah, I think they did the alma mater.
Yeah, that then after the alma mater, it's the it's a time, and
Mhm.
I don't know when they stop. I don't know if it even stops at this actually, because I feel like it does because I don't hear it after a certain time.
I don't pay enough attention to know.
Also, you don't live now.
I also don't live near the All Faith Center. I only
Yeah.
hear the bell when I'm leaving. Yeah, I could have sworn I would hear it when I leave jazz band. That doesn't make sense because that's like at 5:30.
Yeah, it still goes off though.
But doesn't it only go
Oh.
off on the hour?
Yeah, it does. So like if
don't know.
you like leave like Jasmine at like 6, then you would hear it, because the office center is closer to Gleason than your dorm. I forgot the name of your dorm.
Roberts Hall.
Yeah, that
Oh,
place.
You mentioned that your elevators smell like weed a good amount of the
does.
time. The Roberts Hall elevators will also smell like weed. And it's like, okay, fine. But some of the hours are questionable. It'll be the morning. It'll be before noon. And I step into the elevator. I'm like, za? At this hour of the day? It's like you have no classes?
Listen, some people just need to zaw out in the
Some-
morning,
Some people need to za at 10 a.m.
Yeah, or 7 a.m. Who knows?
7
It all
My
it all
morning
depends.
routine, wake up, get out of bed, brush my teeth, za,
And then go to
get
class.
dressed.
No, actually, the zaw is actually before they brush their teeth.
Oh, right, yeah. They
So-
za,
so-
and they
no,
try to brush the smell out.
No, yes, what they do is they wake up,
Mm-hmm.
they zaw.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom because, after they zaw, of course. And then they brush their teeth to try and get it out. But it's not gonna work because you know what they do after that? They zaw again.
Yeah.
And then, they get dressed, go to class if they have a class at whatever time. And then they just walk into class smelling like weed. Which actually, I was at class this morning, and this one kid who I know that he smokes because he said we were studying for an exam, and he said it to me, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, dude, you smell like weed. I'm like, I can smell it on you, and things that he walked right past me. I'm like, ow, my nose, my poor little nose got burnt by the smell of weed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not the most pleasant of. I can't say it's my favorite. I usually prefer when my hallways just kind of smell like air. They don't need to be anything in particular. They don't even need to be nice. I would just prefer the absence of za over za itself. Actually, let us know in the comments below. How often do you za, dear viewers? Do you za in the morning? Do you za at night? Do you not za at all? Or are you always za'd?
Do you zaw in the afternoon? evening, if you will, midnight.
Every hour of the day, 24/7, 365. You are Zod. Let us know.
Yeah, please. We don't know.
Maybe we'll make a Google form again. We kept saying we would in like I think an episode or two prior, and then we didn't at all. And there were no Google forms,
What should
despite
we
how
call
much
it, though?
we should call it. We'll have a Google form like, do you za? Yes, no. That's the whole form.
And then if yes, how many times
Oh yeah, we'll make it
per
fancy
day
like that.
do you use ha?
Hmm.
And just really got to make it to the point. It's like, do you?
Do you? And how much? How much are you zaing?
Oh, and then maybe put like an eye up top so that means like we're always watching them as they're answering the questions.
You would just have a PNG of an eye at the top of the exam to
Yeah.
make them feel like they're being observed.
We're judging you for how much you zaw sometimes.
Mm.
Don't zaw. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do stay out of those drugs, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
It's not good for you.
all the child audience that we have amassed
Mhm.
on the podcast. Don't do drugs. We're
No.
talking about the za in a sense that you should not desire the za yourself.
No, it's not good for you. Your body will hate you for it. It's just don't do it.
You'll implode.
Mm-hmm.
That is the major side effect of za is spontaneous implosion.
And do you want to implode on a random Tuesday?
I don't think so.
So don't do za.
I'm not a doctor, but I had a dream once where za made someone implode, and so I think that's a sign.
Listen to Alex. He knows.
I know it's up.
Yeah. What is up?
What is up is that it is 8 o'clock.
It is.
And that means it's been an hour and a half. That's our program, ladies and gents. I hope you're zaing responsibly, if at all. If
do not za, kids.
The kids don't use za
Zawing
out
is
there.
bad for you. Not za.
Don't you be zaing. You're too young to za.
Mm-hmm.
There's kids. A lot of people here who za are too young to za.
The legal age to za is officially now 30. Don't do it.
It's 30. No, it's 21. But
it's 21. But I'm saying 30 for the podcast.
Yes, we will instill. I love spreading misinformation on the internet. They'll never know.
It's not misinformation. It's good for them.
It's good. It's for their own good. It's for their own good.
If they don't zaw at 21, then they're good. If it's only after 30 that they can zaw legally. Did you get that, kids?
Did you get that? The za age is 30. Don't look it up. The internet will lie to you because Google is actually a za salesman and he just wants to sell more za.
You need to trust us about za.
We are the only ones that are qualified to speak about or instruct about za and za usage.
Yeah.
It's true. Don't look that up either, though, because again, Google will lie to you.
Who made Google?
I don't know.
Well, anyways, the person who made Google, they are just trying to sell za to you, so
Basically.
don't do it.
Google has shifted from being a tech company to a za company.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's our last point, right?
I think that's our last point. Is Google is selling you za, and you don't even know it.
You know what? Put them in the comments below. Actually, so just say yes. No context, please.
Yeah, no context. Just say yes! Exclamation point if you're feeling a bit.
In all caps too.
Yes.
It's yes. And that's it.
That's all. That's all, folks. We're signing off. I was Alex.
I'm Ken. I actually was Ken. Now I'm Stacy.
Oh, wow. Maybe I will now be Pierre.
Mm-hmm. Pierre.
This is Pierre and Stacy signing off from the Gleason Performing Arts Center podcast, The Reboot. We really got to come up with a catchier name. I think GPR will take on. Anyway, let's clap off the audio so we can sync it up later. 3, 2, 1. And that's the episode.
Oh,
that's a wrap.
Oh, I love raps.